Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at Rainswept. This is a murder mystery adventure kind of game. Something like maybe Twin Peaks or maybe like Broadchurch. Developed by Frostwood Interactive. It is in development still. We're playing actually a demo here that's available on itch.io that you can pick up. There is a Steam page also. It says release date is mid of this year. I thought we'd try something out a little bit different for the channel, but maybe something interesting. I just got done watching Broadchurch all the way through, and I had a hankering to play something murder mystery style. So we got a narrative storyline going on here, lots of reading, but we'll jump in here and see what the game's all about here. Alright, so we are a detective where, of course, there's a murder. We've been called into this town of Pinewood to figure out what is going on. That's the story that we have here. Alright, I'm here. See what this is all about. Here's my keys. We can do controller, we can do keyboard. And let's do some figuring out what's going on. So that's my car. I just got here. I'm not going back now. Let's jump ahead here, and I've been here a while, looks like. Now, why would I do that? Why would I take their car? Excellent question. Terrible. What? I said terrible. Terrible business, all this. Bah. This was the only matter of time. Only everyone knows that. I know. Still, they were so young. Young and stupid, you mean? The stories I've heard? I guess you're right. It was just a matter of time. What? It was a matter of time. It's really coming down today. We should get back home. A few more minutes. I want to see what happens. Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to catch a cold, that's all. Got a door here. That's the way inside. I wonder why Chief sent me all the way to Pinewood for this case. Only one way to find out. The crowd is too close to the crime scene. The number of cops are too few. This is poor. Now, what's he up to? Ma'am, please, you need to back away a little. What's happened here? A murder, Johnny? Get under the umbrella. Granny, I want to leave. Can I go back to the shop? I could see this coming a mile away. Ma'am, please. Granny, please. All right, Johnny, let's go. There's no point in standing here now. I knew this would happen. We should have done something. There's nothing we could have done. Chris was responsible. I'm so sure. It's hard to disagree, but let's not speculate. Detective Anderson, right? The chief is inside. He's been waiting for you. You need to control the crowd, officer. You need to push the crowd further from the scene, officer. What? You have to speak up. I can't hear you over the rain. The crowd. Handle them. There could be evidence out here. Oh, yes, I'm trying. Hey, Williams. What the hell are you doing? Trying to prop up this tape, sir. It won't stay. Well, get some sticks and drive them in. Yes, sir. Richard? Don't call for Richard. Richard's on leave. Do it yourself. Goodness. Sorry, detective. Thing is, we're short on manpower here. We weren't prepared for this kind of a thing. First time in decades. And to top it off, all this rain out of nowhere. Let's get the crowd under control. I'm heading inside. Yes, detective. Don't worry. Williams? Okay, in we go. Should I go in? Yes, you should. All right. Oh, God. That's the sheriff. I should talk to him first. All right. We'll mosey on over here. Excuse me. Michael? Huh? I don't know what's happening. Detective, you okay? I think so, yeah. Guess I'm just a little tired after the long drive here. Detective Anderson, right? The head office called in to say that you'd be joining us here for the investigation. I'm Sheriff Harris, and this is Lieutenant Watt. We appreciate the department sending help, but I don't think we need it. Case is ready to be wrapped up. What do we have here? Victims here are Christopher Green, age 26, died from a bullet wound to the head, looks self-inflicted. And Diane Miller, age 24, single bullet through the abdomen. Victims live together, unmarried. Signs of an intruder. No signs of forced entry. The door was locked from the inside when we arrived. Officer climbed through the open window here to open the door. No footprints outside that window. Except the officer's. Yeah, he was careful. No signs of struggle or marks on the bodies either. Time of death. What was the time of death? According to the next door neighbor, a single gunshot was heard at 12:15. Received the call around 12:20, and we were here in another 5 minutes. Found them dead upon arrival, and confirmed the timing. Weapon. Anything about the weapon? Both shots were fired from a .45 caliber pistol. Ballistics report will let us know more. Witnesses? Just the next door neighbor who claims to have heard a single gunshot. We can interview him shortly. Okay. Honestly speaking, Detective, we think it's pretty obvious what's taken place here. What do you mean? They had a reputation. They weren't exactly a happy couple. The whole town knows this. Diane was shot at point-blank range with Chris's gun, probably by Chris. And he then went ahead and shot himself, as the wound is clearly self-inflicted. So you see, sending you here unnecessarily complicates things. Remain silent. So obviously, a case of murder-suicide, Detective. You do the silent thing again. You suggesting there was domestic violence involved? It would seem so. It was never reported, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. So, rumors? You may call it that, but where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not so sure that... And they were never really able to fit in this town. They were new here, moved about 6 months ago. Never got out much, didn't make any friends. We don't need to analyze the obvious, Detective. That would only be inefficient. Officer Blunt will assist you, though, through the course of your work here. Hello, Detective. And one more thing, we're looking to wrap this case up quickly and cleanly. We don't want to drag it out if it can be helped. We have an important festival coming around in a week's time. So you might say this is rather bad timing. So there's no need to go around complicating things, all right? Just get me a story that works and we can close this case quickly. Okay. Good. I shall see you later. Goodbye. Okay, then. Anyway, have a look around the room if you'd like. Come back and talk to me when you're done. All right. Anything over here we can see? No, just him. Shall we proceed? No. Not yet. I need to have a look at the work. Yeah, okay. Who are you? Hey, Detective. Need any help? What's the plan? Have a look around the room. Once you're done, talk to Lieutenant Watts. Okay, thanks. What's this? It's signed Chris 96. I'm guessing Chris built some of the furniture around this house. Gunshot to the stomach. Damage in the residue would suggest the shot was taken at point-blank range. That rules out the possibility of her being shot from the open window. She would have been in line of sight from the outside, though. There's no mistaking it. The perpetrator would have to be inside the house to cause this kind of wound. Whether that was Chris or someone else, it's hard to say at the moment. Not very professional. Hope they know what they're doing. I already talked to you, right? I don't need any help from you. There's the gun. .45 caliber pistol. As the lieutenant said, it looks pretty old. It can hold 7 rounds. There's 4 rounds still in there. It means 3 rounds were fired from this gun at some point in time. If 2 were fired last night, where's the 3rd? Was it used on some other day? Gun belonged to Chris, according to Lieutenant Watts. Let's assume Chris or Diane weren't the ones to use it. Is there anyone else that could have known where they kept the gun? From Pineview? I really doubt it. Remember, no signs of forced entry. Could it be someone they were comfortable with or trusted? No one I can think of. Bullet wound to the head. Skull is badly damaged. Most of the sides have been blown off. His body position and the way he fell would indicate that he was sitting sideways on the chair facing where Diane's body is now. The angle of the shot indicates that he was shot from this side. If someone shot him, they were standing in front of the refrigerator. No clues there, though. He could have been shot from that window. At the moment, it's shot, but must get it checked for fingerprints and footprints outside. Could someone have entered and left through here? We should have the fingerprints results in a couple days, Detective. Don't forget, there aren't any footprints outside. someone shot him from the outside, then Chris would have sat facing the refrigerator. That would make sense. That way, the killer wouldn't need to enter the house. But in that case, who shot Diane? Gunpowder residue on his right hand. Hard to disagree with the lieutenant here. This is strong evidence for the victim shooting himself. Unless it was made to look that way. Chair's fallen on its back. Looks like Chris fell off the chair before or after being shot. Red wine. Looks like a new bottle was opened yesterday. No one drank from this glass. It would seem that Chris was sitting by himself at the table and drinking wine, waiting for someone to join him. Probably Diane? Whether he was waiting for her or someone else, we don't know yet. A glass of wine was knocked over. Looks like wine, but there seems to be blood in here as well. How did blood spatter in this direction? It doesn't make sense. Officer Blunt, I think there's more than 2 gunshots we're seeing here. I saw that. What's that one? 45 ACP rounds. It's a box of 20 rounds. There's 13 here, which means 7 are missing. 2 were used last night. There are 4 left in the gun, as we saw earlier. If 2 were used last night, there's still 1 unaccounted for. Was that used on some other day? Okay. It's everything. Yep. Yes, I'm done. Alright, let's have a chat with Mr. Willis outside. Oh, good. I got tired of hearing the rain. Good. Alright, this is Mr. Willis. He lives right next door, right there, next door. Coffee detective? Sure. Thanks. You can ask him any questions you may have about last night. Right, Mr. Willis, can you tell me everything that you saw or heard during last night's events? Well, let's see. I headed off to bed around 11 p.m., as I usually do, after a glass of whiskey. Helps me sleep, you know. Anyway, somewhere around 12:15 a.m., I'd say, I was woken up by a loud bang. I ran to my bedroom. I looked straight down at their place. And, what'd you see? Nothing. Their kitchen lights were on, but that's about it. I never went to my phone and called Lieutenant Watts here straight away. How long did it take? Once you heard the shot? About a couple seconds, Detective. No more than 5, I'd say. I nearly fell out of my bed when I heard the shot, so you might say I was halfway there already. Anyone on the street? No. Everything was exactly the same as always. You've heard 1 gunshot? Yes, the whiskey usually knocks me out pretty good, so if there's been more, I didn't hear him. You live alone, Mr. Willis. Yeah, I do. Never got married. It's a long story. One meant to be talked over a couple of whiskeys. You know what I mean. Can anyone confirm your whereabouts? No. I was just at home, you see. Am I a suspect? It's a procedure, Mr. Willis. I know Mr. Willis. He's cool. No, just ignore him. Do they have any visitors? No, none at all, in fact. In all this time, I maybe only saw Jack coming over to fix the car, and Father Smith came over a couple times when they nearly moved in. I hear you're back almost. People rarely ever visit him because they mostly kept to themselves, see? Never made any friends here. But sometimes folk don't like those kinds of me either. So I can't really say, you know what I mean? No, please elaborate. We don't find anyone crying over their deaths here. Nobody really knew them and never got out much. Anything else you'd like to share, Mr. Willis? I don't know if this is useful, but you might have heard about Chris and Diane. They looked pretty happy when they first moved in. More recently, though, I heard Diane crying a couple times, usually late at night. See, the whiskey knocks me out early, so maybe that's why I never heard all this before, but a couple of times I was up a little later. One night, about a month ago, I heard pretty bad things. There was some loud sounds, like stuff being flung around and such. See? I heard someone crying. I was thinking to myself that maybe I should call the police, but then it quieted down and all of a sudden. Never received any calls about domestic violence, but people have often talked about stories of this kind. Do you remember when you heard this, Mr. Willis? Well, I was up late night writing an important letter. I think it must have been somewhere around the 1st or 3rd last month. 1st or 3rd September. Anything else? No, that's about all I know. All right, thanks for your help, Mr. Willis. We'll be in touch if we need anything else. No problem. Thanks for the coffee. So we got to figure out where that missing bullet came from. Well, it's cleared things up a lot. Has it? Come on, Detective. You're supposed to be good at these things, aren't you? Mr. Willis didn't see anything outside the house after the gunshots, and there were no signs of anyone forcing entry either. On top of that, considering how rough things were between the two of them, you heard what Mr. Willis said, right? We don't know the complete picture yet. The amount of information we have is very little. We need to dig deeper if we want to know the truth and not just confirm our assumptions. Well, what about the door, huh? How is it locked from the inside? Explain that. I checked the door. It locks itself from the inside when you pull it close, regardless of whether you pull it from the outside or push it from inside. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that there's no conclusive evidence yet. No, fine then. Dig as deep as you like. We won't find anything new here. I was pretty capable of handling this case myself, but, of course, the head department had to complicate things. In any case, Sheriff Harris will probably want to wrap up this case before the festival, so don't expect him to wait for more than a week. I have to head to the station now, officer. Escort Detective Anderson to this hotel. Will do, sir. We'll come back in the evening to search the house. Letters, diaries, things of that sort. All right. We expect the autopsy results. Day after tomorrow, according to the coroner, but I'll confirm and let you know. I'm guessing there were more than 2 bullets shot last night. We should take another look around the kitchen to make sure. 3 bullets, but... I'm actually glad that you're here, you know, although the sheriff and Lieutenant Watson would rather not admit it, even to themselves. This is like the first murder here in the last 100 years or so. I have no idea how to deal with it. I mean... it's alright. I know what you mean. I just joined the force a month back, for instance. And a murder already? I'm not sure if I'm ready. I kind of knew them, you could say. I've never known anyone that was been murdered before, you know. It's kind of weird, a bit sad. I know as an officer I'm not supposed to feel that way and all. You'll be fine. Give it to me. Nice detective. That means a lot. Tell me about Chris and Diane. Yeah. Well, not much. It's mostly about Mr. Willis said earlier. Nobody really knew him. They came in here, kept to themselves. You'd hear stories about them. Everyone, though, they were kind of weirdos. I admit, I kind of agreed that with that sentiment, too. I feel bad about that now. There's no reason to make assumptions about people's character, and character can't be used as evidence. So I'd really like to help figure out what the real story is, whatever it may be. What about this festival next week? Oh, it's an annual thing. We have it every October. There's a fair on the market street. There's food, rides. We get a lot of tourists from nearby states around that time. It's a good source of revenue for some of our smaller businesses here. That, of course, is less important in the light of recent events. Good to hear you say that. Of course, we can't go around trying to wrap up cases based on our assumptions, whatever the situation may be. I mean, these are people's lives that ended, and it's our job to figure out what really happened. So I guess what I'm saying, you can count on me during this investigation. Thanks. I'm hoping the local police will let me do the job I've been sent to do, though. I don't mean you. Detective, I know what you mean. Honestly speaking, Sheriff Harris is an a-hole. I'm serious, he doesn't care about anything except running off home and taking it easy. This case probably ruined his plans to relax and enjoy the festival week. I hate people like that. Lieutenant Watts, though, he's really sweet. I know he comes across a little obnoxious, but... Uh-huh. Oh, my. I saw her. She was right there. Why am I seeing her? Why am I thinking of her? Oh, move around time? Oh. Okay, let's look around. Tar, shovel. Wonder what Jack uses them for. I hope she's not hurt. How's the car looking? I don't know. Ask Jack. He's working on it. Talk to me when you're done. All right. Anything over here? No. My poor car. That would be dangerous. It sure would. Yeah, don't get in the car. So, hey, Jack. He says his name's Jack. It's a good thing he was passing by when the crash happened. Look kind of uncomfortable. Don't you need the car to be on a ramp or something? Nah, man, you know worry too much. What's the issue with the car? Well, the headlights and the bumper's gone. You need to have them replaced. I'm going to have to check if I've got a replacement part so I can fix it. How long? A couple of days. 3 maybe, depending on how quickly I can get to the parts. Shouldn't take more than 4 days at most. Oh, boy. Hey, dude, can you fetch me a big red wrench? Should be in a toolbox outside. I'll do it. You're amazing, bud. Thanks. Well, you're welcome. Jack just got us here in that. I think I'll wait for my car to be fixed instead. Be the toolbox Jack mentioned. Okay. Take big red wrench. Anything else to look at? Fancy car. What a beauty. I'd love to, but I don't think Jack would appreciate me driving off in his car. Okay, let's head back over here. Here you go, buddy. 1 wrench. That's it. I love this wrench. Thanks, bud. Ask him about the tar and the shovel. I got a shovel and some tar there. What do you use that for? Dude, I do a bit of construction work on the side sometimes. You know, fixing up driveways and stuff for extra cash. What about the convertible? Is that yours? Yeah, man. 65 Mustang. I love that ride. I got it used for pretty cheap off a guy who couldn't take care of it anymore. Luckily, the car's got something that keeps it running like new now. A big red wrench? You know, the red wrench is pretty awesome. Nothing if it's not got someone who can make it work. Me. Spend all my free time on her, fixing her up, making sure she runs better than new. And if I keep her happy by taking her on long, beautiful drives on the roads outside town. You're here for investigating Diane's murder, right? Yeah, and Chris? Do you have any information that could help us? I don't know about information. I just know that he did it. What do you mean? Chris, he killed her. Why do you say this? Everyone could see it coming. Diane, she says, they say she was troubled, scared of him even. Someone in this town should have done something. We all knew this could happen. But no one cared enough about them to bother inferring. How do you know all this? I don't know, rumors around town mostly. Did you know them? Not really. People here barely did. They're not the kind of come out and make friends with our new neighbors. It looks like they still felt like outsiders to the rest of us. What were you doing last night? What was I doing last night? Yeah, that's what I asked. I drove a couple miles from here and drank a few beers while I enjoyed the view. At night? Yeah, stars, man, you see. Was there anyone with you? Did you meet anyone? Nah, man, it's nothing like the pleasure of your own company sometimes. All right, thanks for your help, Jack. She'll be back if you have any information, any more questions. Of course you will. What do you mean, Jack? Your car, man. Come back when it's fixed. You get way too serious, way too fast, man. Chill out. Okay. Enough of that. Let's go. Hey. It took 3 to 4 days to fix the car. That's a pity. Yep. What happened back there, detective? How do we hit that tree? I think the brakes fail. I think the brakes fell. I guess I was in my head. Brakes are A-okay, detective. Thanks, Jack. It wasn't the brakes. You saw something and you screamed. Are you okay? Just generally? I mean, I don't know you, so I don't know if this is a regular thing. No offense. It's okay. I know what you mean. I mean, you collapsed back there at the crime scene, too. And then this? Yeah, I don't know. I've been a little dizzy all day. Maybe I just need a nap. See, this kind of stuff kind of bums me out. I'm just saying, if there's anything wrong, you can talk to me about it. Don't hesitate. Okay. Detective, yes? Hustle up over there. I'm going to drive to town, to the next town for some spare parts. Wanted me to drop you to the hotel or something? I'll take a walk around town first, actually. Called the station from Jack's phone. A car's on the way. They'll drop us off the Market Street. And your luggage at the hotel. You take care now, dude. Until we meet again. Okay. Here we are. Famous Pine View Market. Okay, not much really to see here. Let's see if we can talk to some of the locals here. Alright. If it isn't very busy at the time, this time of day, but there should be a few people out here. If you get tired and feel like heading to the hotel, let me know. We can come back here and talk to them another day. Fiction or non-fiction? Fiction. Me too. Okay. Apparently it's 4 p.m. Cherry pie. Come back here for breakfast. The owner, Mark, is a pretty great guy. You mean me? Hey, Mark, you were at the crime scene, weren't you? You must be Mark. I sure am. Hey, detective, have a seat. Want some tea? Coffee? My cafe's extremely cozy and warm. That's all right. I come over here if you want a pint. Keep your unhealthy habits to yourself, Alan. Too much coffee's unhealthy, too. Also, if you haven't noticed, he's already smoking a cigarette. Ignore him. He just likes to annoy me. And yet, I let it get to me. Who is that? That's Alan, owner of the bar next door. And my brother. Twin brother? Not that you know by the way we lead our lives. I don't know how we ended up as polar opposites. I know. I got all the good stuff. Go away. How long you lived here, buddy? Born here. Family lived here for many years before that. Left the city, left for the city when I was about 10. My dad was looking for better work. I returned as soon as I graduated, about 9 years back. Prefer the life here. Big cities just aren't for me. Now it's just me, my books, and my coffee shop. Life is simple, and I love it. Did Alan come with you at the same time? No, Alan, he joined me here about 5 years back. He had a bit of trouble with his old life and wanted a fresh start. Maybe he can tell you more about that. You live by yourself, Mark? No, I'm married. I've been married about for 6 years now. Me and met my wife in my own cafe, actually. No, it is a cute story. We were very happy for you, Mark. Does Alan also live with you? No, he lives close by. Where was he in last night? Yeah, I think so. I didn't check to meet him, though. Chris and Diane. Did you see him often? Nope, barely. A handful of times, maybe. I came into the cafe a few times, but that was in the early days when they first moved in. They wouldn't say much to me or anything else here. They mostly kept to themselves. Or I could say they didn't have eyes for anyone else. To put it bluntly, they looked very much in love. Tell me about him. Well, I kind of identified with Chris in a way. Sounds like he moved here for peace of mind this place provides, and started a small business for himself. A business. He'd been trying to get a hotel project off the ground here, from what I hear. He had trouble getting the project approved. Maybe Father Smith can tell us more about it. He's involved in the planning committee. Where were you last night? Sure, as always, I was closed at my place at 8 p.m. I bought some supplies from the general store down the street, and then I went home. I assume the storekeeper will remember that. Yeah, Mrs. Brown was in last night. At the time, she should be able to confirm what I just said. And Alan, could he confirm this? He did come to work yesterday. He took the day off. He was feeling unwell, so he stayed at home all day. Looks like that's passed, luckily. He looks fine today. Anyway, I went back home after that, changed, and went for a jog as usual. Came back, took a nice, long, warm bath, made myself a cup of coffee, and had my dinner. Then read a book for about an hour or so. I was probably asleep by 10:30. Pleasant, ordinary evening. Anything unusual in the past couple days? No, can't say I have. Everything's been pretty much the same as usual. Talk later. See you around, detective. All right, sunglasses. What's up? Hey, Alan. Officer Blunt. Tell me about yourself. Alan? I've told my brother, Mark, already. You probably know I moved here 5 years ago. My wife left me, and I wanted to get away from it all. I thought I'd come in here after all these years and give this place another shot. Turns out it's just as bloody boring as it was when I was 10. But hey, it got me out of the place I began to hate even more. So it's an improvement, you know. And you get used to the place eventually. Mark did me a big favor, giving me half of his cafe to start a business in. Guess he's not too pleased with the business I chose to run, though. He's a good guy. Where were you, Alan? I'm sure Mark must have told you already. I was home. I wasn't feeling well, so I stayed home instead. Anyone that can confirm this? Apart from Mark, I don't know. Since I didn't leave home, no one saw me, you know. Did you know Chris and Diane? No, not at all. I'm the kind of person who minds his own business. I don't go interfering with other people's affairs in their lives. What do you mean? I just don't go wasting my time getting to know people if there's no need for it. To me, it looked like they prefer to mind their own business as well. So no, I didn't get to know them. All right. Next. Grandpa's Bakery. That's Grandpa, owner of Grandpa's Bakery. Is he your grandfather? Oh, no, he isn't. Is his name Grandpa then? Well, I don't really know his name, actually. Grandpa? I'm not your grandpa. And your name is Grandpa. Mr. Grandpa, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions. And I was wondering if I could ask Mrs. Brown out there. They're out for a date. But wondering isn't doing, is it? Just look at her. Oh, boy, she makes me feel 40 years younger. She does. You even planning to grow up, Grandpa? Any more growing up, and I might just die. I ain't planning on doing that before I ask you out. Goodness, unbelievable behavior. Such immaturity at his age. She likes me. I know she does. You're deluded. Woohoo. Anyway, you had questions, young man. I thought I did. How long you lived here? Forever. My family's been here for generations. Guess I'm the last one in the line now. My shop's been here for generations, too. You know, and I think I've taken real good care of it. Oh, and she's taking real good care of me, too. Where were you last night? Where do you think I was? Okay, we won't say it. Sleeping? That's right. What else do you expect an old man to do at the time of night? Can anyone confirm this? No, no one can. I live alone. What about Chris and Diane? Well, when they first moved in, Chris would often come in the evening and buy some things for me. He'd come in daily, almost. Looked pretty cheerful, too. Then a couple months after that, he just stopped coming. The last few times he came, I could see that something wasn't right. Maybe trouble with his missus? I don't know. He and Diane went to church maybe a handful of times. Once or twice they came over here and after for coffee and donuts. They were quite a couple, I can tell you. He was quiet, nonchalant one. She was exciting, electrifying energy. A classic case of opposites attracted to each other. If what people say is true, I don't know how things went wrong so fast. But then, with these things, you can never say. This is all about 4 or 5 months back. Again, after that, I hardly ever saw them out here again. Anything unusual lately? I don't know about it. I actually might have. Yeah? Mrs. Brown's been tying her hair in a much tighter bun lately. I wonder what that means. Is she softening up, trying to hide that fact? Grandpa, you notice these things. I mean when I say it, beautiful. I'm a passionate lover. Very passionate. Grandpa. Hello, I was talking about the possible murders. Did you notice anything unusual leading up to that? Oh, no, not much the same. Much the same. I can't say I did. Live by yourself, Grandpa? Yes, I do. Kids left Pineview for the big city. Too boring here, they say. It's been many years since the wife died. So I run this shop here by myself, and I live down the street, pretty close by. But that's all right. I got friends here to keep me company. Officer Blunt pays me a visit every day, for instance. It's always a pleasure to meet you, Grandpa. Also, there's Mrs. Brown. She makes everything, every day exciting. Please, God, give me strength. Oh, look how she flirts. Okay. We'll talk later, creepy Grandpa. Somebody named Bakery, yeah. Maybe kind of creepy at times, but he sure knows how to bake. I may be old, but I'm not completely deaf, you know. Sorry, Grandpa. I'm not your grandpa. These donuts sure do look good. What do you mean they look good? They're the best in Pineview. Best damn donuts made with Grandpa's love and warmth. Want to buy some? Maybe later. Gramps. Okay. Talk to the old lady. She was at the crime scene. That's Mrs. Brown. We know we saw her. Hello, ma'am. Who is it? You're that detective, aren't you? Come to ask me about the murders. Something troubles you, boy. What is it? What do you mean? I know a troubled soul when I see one, detective. But I understand you don't have time for such questions. This is good. That is good. Neither do I. Now, what is it? How long you lived here in Pineview? I was born here. I barely stepped outside Pineview all my life. I started this shop when I was about 25. Had to support myself. Once I lost my husband. Do you have family here? Johnny's the only family I've got, and he's my grandson. Lost my husband in the war. I was about 25. You must have seen Johnny, right? Always running around, taking photos with his camera. His parents left him in a tough situation by making some stupid decisions in their lives, so I can't take care of him now. He's a good boy. Spends a lot of time helping his grandma around the shop. I'm getting older now, too. Willpower, mental strength can only get you so far, you know. Time catches up with you eventually. Not that I lack any mental strength. I've single-handedly taken care of a lot here. You really have, Mrs. Brown. You're doing well, young lady. You're doing quite well for yourself. Where were you last night? Mrs. Brown. Went to bed around 9 p.m. Johnny could probably confirm that. He was home, too. What about Chris and Diane? Oh, those two. Doomed from the start. Why do you say that? I told you, I know a troubled soul when I see one. And those two, I've seen it so many times over the years. One can always tell. Others will tell you they were very much in love, but something wasn't right. I always felt that. And then when things really did start going wrong, everyone heard about it. All right. See you, Mrs. Brown. Is this it? Or where am I going? Let's go for a hike. Okay, to the church. Okay, good place to go. We probably need to put a cut here. So we're going to do that before we talk to this guy. We'll do a cut, and then we'll pick this one up next time. And this should be just a two-parter. It says, according to the itch.io page, it's about an hour's worth of demo. I hope we get some sort of resolution here. It doesn't just end on like a cliffhanger, but we're going to find out. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.